a face-off between the two most contested junglers on the patch. This is going to be a demonstration of whether anyone's legend can beat BLG in the early stages of the game and show that superior objective setup when they have a lead. It won't be a straight gank. All right, no dice. All right. That's okay. He'll just take a base now and look for a straight dirt.
Wait a minute.
Shun setting up Bin. What is this? 2024 Flandra in trouble. Gets the tunnel away, tries to flash, but double flash from Shun and Bin. That camaraderie shining on strong in game one between BLG and AL.
Yeah, maybe if Knight had been able to angle that a little bit better, maybe Shanks is under a bit more threat with the Malphite there. Is the electrocute Malphite as well? Kind of noting what you were talking about there. Melee form Jace is great. That's good to know. Remember, we wanted to see them keep up early game tempo with some of the lane matchups that they have.
Decent trade and response from On. Hope might be in trouble. I think Hope is just giving up his life knowing. Tries to flash away. I'm not sure what that was going to achieve. Now Viper says thank you for the kill and the flash as they continue the trade on to Kyle. Deadly Flourish connects off the stun from On. The flash, the pulverize. Oh my god, it is 2024 all over again. Viper and On pick up the 2v2 all in. And even top lane Bin is killing Flandra.
This is super dangerous on this top side. Anytime that Flandra is not on this side of the map, I think that Flandra does need to be wary that he's going to potentially be dove. Now Knight in the mid lane.
Shockwave pulls him back in after he flashes the Emperor's Divide. Shun holding onto his unstoppable force. Tarzan trying to line it up. Oh my goodness, that's why we picked the Bard to set up the accelerated shock blast. And Shun has the first to use ultimate just to run away. The rest of BLG can't bail Knight out of this one. There's a lot of reliable bursts coming in from Viper's Aphelios. Jhin, a little bit different.
Gonna have to enter after this dragon's already taken here. They're split off.
Flash ulti onto Shanks. No flash on the Orianna. Tarzan goes to the skies and says good night tonight. Shanks does go down in the end, and so far a 1-for-1 trade. Flash from Kyle looks for the Cosmic Binding. On is forced to flash over the wall, but Hope wants a piece of that cow and takes him down with a hail of arrows. Shun, no unstoppable force, no flash available. A couple more auto attacks from Tarzan should do the trick. It's a double for Hope, and just like that, anyone's legend swing on back.
Moving throughout the top side, getting good flank wards, potentially setting up for a dive here onto Big. This is a lot of crystalline overgrowth.
Yeah, Tempered Fate right into the turret to disable any turret aggro, and Flandra finally gets a bailout as the rest of the AL come in to put a stop to Bin's reign.
On the bottom side here, they're not at all prepared for a Herald. I think AL are going to be looking for resets to try to spend some of this gold. Are they going to be contesting on the top side? I don't know. For right now,
just touch it, bro. Like that thing just needs to be knocked down by a breeze. Just
there
like,
you go.
Poke it with a stick. Nice.
Cool. So we got the turret.
It is
AL now have 2 turrets. Oh my god. All right. So this is a new item for everybody. The next instance of ability damage to a champion or an epic monster gives you a little bit more damage. It gives you bonus true damage based on your lethality. And scoring a takedown empowers your next basic attack versus turrets or epic monsters and does a lot more true damage. Now I say that, I think Flandra's dead.
He's going to try to stall this one as long as possible. It does require 4 members of BLG to make the job done. What can anyone's legend do on the cross map? Shanks is already pushing on the top side. Bin was occupying that lane to make sure that Shanks couldn't get any turret damage for free. Hope pushing up in the mid lane with Kyle. It's up to Viper to clear the minion wave while Tarzan takes a free Rift Herald. So for anyone's legend, yeah, Flandra does go down, but I think it's a worthy trade in the end.
Interesting to me. You know that Knight is on the bottom side. You had 4 members here. I'm surprised that BLG didn't opt for the Dragon there. It is short-term gold. You are getting Knight an entire bottom lane turret to himself. However, now you've given over the Rift Herald. You've lost control of mid in trade, and that might even mean some more jungle camps as well. So this becomes a harder map for BLG to operate on, and now AL have complete say as to what the Dragon is going to look like, with Jhin now having to take a recall as well. BLG are opting for gold, and I don't like their I like their odds as we go later into the game.
I mean, Tarzan's first domestic title win had been a long time coming when it finally came through in Split 2 last year.
And on Zed, man,
potential fight. Hang on. Uh-oh, that's a big flash, and Kyle is still dead. Not sure what that accomplished, and Shanks, unfortunately, is on the wrong side of the map. Please don't tell me he won't flash either. All right, well, BLG just picked up 2 kills for free. I imagine this should be a clear signal to start up the Baron. Now Tarzan, Hope, and Flandra will be put to the test. 3v5. Can they pull out a miracle? Really good shock blast from Tarzan on the Viper.
Oh,
puts
what
him
is
in about
this
50%
flank
HP.
right now?
But there's a big flank in the making from On, trying to punt the key member from anyone's legend. Tarzan is caught by Bin and On, and BLG have dashed away any hopes from the Pandas. No chance for a smite. It only comes down to Hope to put on his best Gumayushi impression and see if he can steal it right under from BLG's noses. On is doing his best to try and occupy
Wait a
Flandra,
minute,
but
hold
Hope
up
puts
now.
him to rest. Tempered Freight from Kyle, he's back. BLG, don't tell me they flubbed this one. Viper's
No.
in trouble. Flandra goes in. No way it happens like this. Shun is pushed out of the pit. They keep it at 3K. Flandra will finish off Shun, and they don't even need Tarzan to secure the Baron. Anyone's legend making miracles happen here in game 1. No dice here from the side of anyone's legend, but because the Baron buff is on their side, they're the ones on the front foot. They're the ones putting BLG in the pressure point. This tier 2 turret, wow, Shockwave connects on the Shun. Is he forced to use the Unstoppable Force just to retreat again? Tempered Fate right on top of him. Do we have another accelerated shock blast? He goes in for the knockup. It only hits on the Kyle, and he goes down swinging. Knight has teleported, looking for a flank, but he's 1 man against 5, and he needs to wait for the rest of BLG to follow up on the engage, and it's just too daunting of a task to make happen. Knight is forced to retreat, and that teleport just goes to waste.
In the time that it takes to spawn, this objective's already gone.
Yeah, BLG have forfeited Cloud Soul over to anyone's legend, trying to opt into making sure that their Baron setup find and track BLG's movements and positioning to give anyone's legend all the utility and info they need. Teleport coming in from Bin, looking for Tarzan. He is the big target. He and Shanks are going to have to fight their way out without Kyle. No Tempered Fate for a while. Shanks is caught by Bin. Cosmic Binding locks Bin down. The Stairx gauge is popped. Flandra comes around from the top side, trying to bind Knockup from Flandra! The best Rek'Sai in the world comes to fruition! Malphite ultimate onto 2, but there's no damage follow-up. Knight, with his golden left hand, goes down into the grave, and anyone's legend picks up a triple for Tarzan's chase. Game 1 wrapped up in the books, and it's anyone legend with the victory march.
They'll just move it in through top lane. AL play that fight with so much patience, and then the execution near flawless from them. That knockup from Flandra onto 4 members completely ends this game out. AL, we wanted to see them play with precision, and they came clean today in this first game.
Viper will pull a last Hail Mary effort, but this Jhin can't do enough to save this fate from being written by anyone's legend. The ace comes through from Hope, and it's anyone's legend that take the first game against BLG.
I had my doubts, I had my worries, but I should have just trusted the best team in the league to get it done. That's kind of the most important thing for me. When I think about player of the game for this one, either is going to be Tarzan. I think there's probably going to be, it's probably going to be Flandra. I mean, he went from getting solo killed twice in this game. Akali! Oh, this is Aurora top lane. Okay, this is Aurora top lane. Okay, we're moving back into that. This was Flandra's like answer very early on into playing the Rumble last year. So, all right, this makes sense.
Bursting out the Krogs as fast as possible. Shun does not get a chance to finish off Red Buff in a very fast manner. Tarzan has Kyle, Shun has On. It's 700 HP. Can either one secure it? The red buff goes down. Not sure who got it, but Shun goes down anyway for first blood. And BLG's invade goes completely awry. On will be escorted by Viper, but that is not what BLG were hoping for.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about it too much in this game, but this is also not just a Lulu for Aphelios. This is a Lulu for a Xin Zhao. And again, Tarzan, incredible jungler. Now, I'm going to say that I think he might get punished.
He flashes on the Knight. He gets the heal from the passive. No way. He goes back in. He goes back in. He trades his life for On, but now that has compromised Shanks' own, and Shun has returned to the field. Everyone is flashing forward. It's an LPL fiesta, and I'm living for every second, but Knight comes out on top with the double. Kyle's forced to flash over the wall. This is peak LPL. You may not like it, but this is what we're living in, baby.
Is there a play here? Knight is incredibly strong. I know I talked a lot about the splinters, but he has the elixir in his pocket. That's free adaptive force, and that got buffed on the patch before this. That alongside the first strike, he's going to do a hell of a lot of damage.
Knight is spot on the control ward, but they don't care. They know that Hope doesn't have flash from the scrap before, on taking up the turret as much as possible. Clean dive by BLG.
Okay, so Equalizer's going to be used to clear the wave. This is hopefully to provide BLG with a little bit of priority. However, their bottom lane is nowhere nearby. On doesn't have level 6 quite yet. Syndra's recalling right now. I don't know if we're allowed to do this.
From Tarzan. Shun, no flash available either. Tarzan knowing his timers and his windows. Wow, just super proactive. Tarzan is just one of those few individuals, not just in LPL, but in the world, that will understand these tiny windows and just maximize them for
Rafa,
the best effect.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. What is Shun doing in the jungle there? Like, my mid lane is recalling. My top laner is recalling and just used Equalizer. That was a really good trade taken there by Knight. Knight also getting his quest completed, so has the upgraded chain breakers. Yoinks. That is going to be a lot of defensive potential for him versus any of the solo lanes playing later on. And hopefully we get to see Shanks kind of provide that value. I mean, the slow by itself, I think, is going to be really, really pivotal to how AL maybe attack fights later on. We do have a Herald, and no one else is on the bottom side. Tarzan wants to continue to invade, maybe get some turret plates for his Aphelios.
Has Tarzan bit off more than he could chew here? He still has Crescent Guard, hasn't popped it yet. Darkness from afar as the Scatter of the Weak forces Tarzan to flash away and pop his ultimate.
What is
they
Hope
turn on
doing?
a Hope. He's forced to flash over the wall. Pop Blossom on the 3! Bullet time! Rips him to shreds! Shanks looks for the counterattack, but he's forced to use the second cast of perfect execution just to run away, and Flanja TP's in just a little too late. BLG with a massive punish. Knight has 2 items. Viper has 2 items. Who cares? You're a Nocturne. All you gotta do is just press your ultimate and give the cover of darkness to your team. 3-man Wild Growth, though, trying to set up Hope for a massive Moonlight Vigil. On is gonna get out alive thanks to Paranoia. They look for the re-engage onto Hope.
What is Shun doing?
Follow up? Shun! My guy! No one can follow up!
I thought that the sequencing was good from Kyle. He got the spell shield out from the Nocturne and then polymorphs him. It's a bit of a harder one to land, especially in the midst of a Nocturne Paranoia going off. But yeah, that just cost BLG the Dragon. And then this right here, yeah, the polymorph like I was mentioning, before he could even get the spell shield off. Just incredible.
Oh, another fight on in the middle of 3 people. Didn't have Pop Blossom available just quite yet. Oh no, BLG falling apart. Anyone's legend. Still down 3.5 thousand gold, but with the Rift Herald in hand, they can easily try and do some work to shore up that gold deficit and claw their way back.
We talked about it during the draft. We have not really gotten that delivered to us here in this game. It has been individual skirmishes that have gotten them the lead.
Hey!
Oh, there we go.
That's how you do it. Look at that. On setting up Knight with a 2v1 kill on Flandra, which is his first death for the Aurora in this second game. Really carry the game as Syndra, and it's not like Syndra falls off. In fact, the fact that he got an early snowball advantage allows his scaling to come online even faster. Shanks engaging on. Pop Blossom still available, doesn't get a chance to use it. Shanks got the Wild Growth and the flash out of On as well. Paranoia being used by Shun, and this time he will not re-engage.
Bin is on the opposite side of the map, and he is getting gold. He is getting another turret plate on the bottom side. Level 16. 3 points in the Equalizer. Now we need to see it. Teleport flank coming on through.
Oh, well, Flandra missed both the weirding and see between worlds, and Bin says, see Wyatt. Thanks for the free ultimate, buddy. I'm just going to TP out of here.
Especially with Proto Belt plus the oncoming Zonias. I think that HP shield is a bit more meaningful. Now a play onto Aurora, you have no damage, Shun.
But Shun knows that Flandra doesn't have the ultimate, and with an alley-oop, Bin with the, hang on, mid lane, more fights happening, Shank gets popped! Viper's gonna get jumped up by Tarzan, but he still has to work his way through Knight and On. Tarzan trying to delete On, but he tricked it with the HP bar, and Knight scatters Tarzan back to the winds, picks up the Quadra, and showing Tarzan that he's not just the only best player in the LPL. That one window gives them a huge advantage, and now they're at 9,000 gold in the lead against anyone's legend. We know that AL have pulled off some comebacks and some miracles, but I would be pressed to say that AL can bring this one back from the brink.
Let's see, how does Flandre escape this? I don't think that's going to be possible. Great flash from him. I won't lie, we have Baron for another minute and a half. If AL can hold on, if no more structures fall, and these are just Baron minions being traded, all in all, BLG have kind of wasted a lot of this objective.
Dashes on tonight. He still has flash. He gets away just in time. Pop Blossom and Bullet Time trying to do a number onto Shanks while he's in the cover of that shroud. Looks for Knight.
Oh!
Also finds the flank. They want Knight so badly, but they can't get in range of him. Kyle getting deleted on the back line. Tarzan pushed out of the fight, and Bin arrives to burn them all down. Triple kill for Viper, and the rest of BLG roaring triumphant.
All right, so that pin that I wanted at 18 minutes, we can get rid of that one, guys. This game's a wrap. 11,000 gold lead here for BLG. And even with AL's best shot at winning a fight, it's just nothing. They don't kill Knight. They don't kill Bin. And I gotta say, Bin, a silent killer in this game. Hasn't gone too much interaction as we've gone all around the map, but really a great performance on this Rumble, a champion that he is really starting to come into his own in most recent years. Also, the game might have just been looking a lot different if that was the case. Tarzan's gonna try to steal his own blue buff away, lose half his HP, maybe his Guardian Angel.
Darkness. Good night, Tarzan. He flashes away. Shun can close the distance, but meanwhile, on the left side, wow, Hope just gets exploded. Kyle almost facing the same fate, flashing away just in time. Shanks on a long flank. Not sure what he's going to be able to accomplish, especially since he is behind the item curve. And, yep, I would also do the same, Shanks. Just recall and try to defend the base from grumbling.
All right, so we're going to hit on this mid-wave. See that Viper right now, just so strong and can be very stalwart on this Misfortune. We're going to take this mid-inhibitor down, and Rafa, I think we're going to a Mountain Soul here. I think that BLG are going to quickly take this inhibitor, spend their gold, and look to put the finishing touches on a very easy game 2.
BLG just taking their game slow, waiting for flashes to come back up. Knight, well, definitely the strongest individual on the map right now, finds a scout of the week. Good night, Kyle.
So remember when I said that Lulu doesn't usually get very many options to play the game, especially versus a Syndra? That's kind of it.
And an elixir of sorcery to be at maximum strength. BLG. A few seconds away from Mountain Soul spawning. Tarzan having to be the first one to face check into the bush. Shanks is over the wall, looks for on first. Paranoia gives them the cover. Kyle, the first one to get dropped. Tarzan's GA will be next. Hope flashes right on top of the equalizer. No chance in hell that he's getting out of that one. Tarzan revives just to die all over again. And this is BLG's game to come back from. This was an excellent response by Bilibili Gaming. We're going to game 3.
Couldn't have gone any other way. I'm sure that some of the AL fans, Rafa included, were looking at this potentially being a 2-0 with the level we saw. But BLG, they go back to some of their winning ways. They go back to some of the things that brought them success earlier on in the season and will tie it up. One more? One more for the road. Why not? It's takeaway.
25 stacks sealed or achieved on this Jesus.
On the Magi's.
Knight Syndra. Yep, on the Magi's. That's right. That's right. Listen, I'm one of the few apologists for Hope, and I believe in this guy to clutch up and give some. But the moment
it's gonna be a low level, very long, but you have incredible dueling early game. This is another lane where I feel like people get a wrong misconception about Sivir, that she has no early game prowess. Seems like that's not going to be the case, but he's going to stay. Okay, we're making a play on a Shanks.
Doesn't flash for it, but gets the root from the empowered Q. Decent damage onto Shanks. He does not pull the flash trigger there. Keeps calm.
Like you mentioned, BLG, they get the kind of push Kyle out of that wave. Viper's just been sitting here pressing QW. continues to do so. Just right-click on the enemy champions. Another wave is underneath the turret. No use of the Pantheon ult, no use of the Weaver's Wall either. BLG are going to have to move out of this top side pip. They have brought On over. He's nowhere near level 6, and Kyle, I think, has a lot more buttons that are useful in this instance.
Well, On already used his main useful button, the taunt, but Bin Flash commits onto Tarzan, and Gift wraps a present for Knight in first blood.
They just don't have the same amount of damage. I mean, yes, it's a Pantheon, but your Talia is stuck in mid. Kyle does nothing in these trades, so a kill goes over to BLG, and you get all 3 grubs, which, mind you, this is a team with Ryze and Jax. Your solo lanes are going to be incredibly competent and very much willing and able to take down turrets, especially with things like Crystalline Overgrowth.
This series is starting to look very reminiscent of the BLG series against Weibo just a couple of days ago, Alec. The first game, back and forth, kind of rough and tragic loss at the end in game 1.
And now they're going to have to fight themselves into Fog of War here. I don't know if I like this.
Kyle was trying to set up a flank, but immediately gets pushed out by Viper, gets jumped. The supreme display of talent catches him, but the response of the Magnet Storm kills Shun in the crossfire. Dragon secured for Tarzan, and now it's full retreat for anyone's legend. Knight trying to continue the chase and keep them in range for follow-up kills. Boomerang Blade lands onto the Rune Prison target, but not enough damage to finish off Tarzan, and the rest of anyone's legend find their first counter response in this game 3.
AL are going to make them work for every single inch here in this series. They're using some of those globals now. Can Knight find anything on the Flandra?
Forced to flash away. Knight doesn't get in range for the Rune Prison. Finds the Empowered One, layered up with the taunt. It's beautiful CC work, and Bin gets his first kill of the game.
Did they put too much into that play, though? Because that's a Realm Warp, and that's also the Stand United there. AL are going to respawn with putting 3 people in top lane. No Crystalline Overgrowth. No plate's going to be taken on this attempt from BLG.
I think he was afraid of Shun and, like, timed the ultimate and just clipped him in there.
That's fair, that's fair. So, a pretty expensive trade. You know, they end up hovering Knight. He'll get this entire wave and the first turret of the game going over to BLG. AL, in turn, will grab the Rift Herald and maybe look for something on top side, but with Dragon spawning in a minute...
W passive, or your auto passive that much faster? Hang on. Realm Warp toward the bottom lane. Uh-oh, Flandra. Well...
Another lower third?
Nope. Another lower third, maybe? Flandra's just gonna die here. I don't think he can even find a trade. Yep. BLG using their global tools, just getting a lot of kills back and forth. It's an answer from anyone's legend, though, in the mid lane with this Rift Herald, I should say.
Wow.
They don't even take out the tier 1 turret just yet. Just a little bit of gold in their pockets.
I mean, three plates there for Hope and Tarzan is not all that bad.
I'm telling you, man.
That's 4 plates!
We already know that Jax, as a champion, destroys turrets really fast. Dusk and Dawn is just as good as a turret destruction tool as Trinity Force. However, Shanks is going to force a flash out with the Weaver's Wall, still looking for On. Quick taunt dash away, at least escapes the seismic shove, but On is still in trouble. Shanks is just putting the hurt train, the flash forward guarantees the kill, and Shanks is on the board with his first kill of the game.
I like the snap there from Shanks. Use the ultimate, try to find On, and now you know that there's no flash. On, I will note, kind of a free death there. You got Shanks to flash, and while the Dragon isn't something you're going to be contesting,
they're going to be a little slow to answer and try and bail Flandra out of this one. On has Stand United ready if he needs it. Hasn't popped it yet. Flandra going to get stunned up. Flash into the E. Is able to dash away back to safety. Thankfully for anyone's legend, they did answer with a tier 1 turret on the bot side. As Shanks has teleport in case they need it. Depends only on BLG if they want to get aggressive. On taunt flash into the... Oh my goodness, supreme display of talent. Good night, Tarzan. And Shanks teleports in just a little too late. I think this red buff does belong to BLG. It's like a little bit of damage. The most of it comes from the max HP scaling onto enemy targets. Throw an AP on a high AP ratio,
Oh,
yeah,
bye,
that thing
Viper.
is chunking people. But Viper caught out by 3 people. Big shutdown going over to Hope's pockets. Flandre in a 1v2. All out. He's got Tarzan for reinforcements, but he goes
Here's
down.
Shanks.
Realm Warp. Does he have enough time to get out alive? Yes, he does. Shanks arise just to see Shun and Knight Realm Warp away, but Kyle is hot on their trail, looking for the flashback to Storm to lock Knight down. He tries to flash to the turret for safety, but Hope gets another shutdown into Shun's Kiana. And anyone's Legend are trying to do everything they can to get back in this game.
That has to be a Baron. You have an Kaisa here with 2 items. They're not going to be able to threaten this right now. I guess they just don't have the HP. And also, Bin's on the opposite side. Destroy. He has a Sonya's. Oh my god. And Kyle, he's going to get canceled. Well. That's fine. This turret's gone.
He can take the full turret.
He's not going to do it. He doesn't have enough time. Oh my god. This is so stressful. BLG now, 3,000 gold lead.
I mean, you could see that Tarzan was thinking about just going for a quick
He's allowed to be there by himself. Wow. You can see it's a tug and pull. BLG and AL fighting over mid waves and then dunking into River. Right now, it is all anyone's Legend in terms of vision. They have the Scuttle, they have the Pixel Brush, and they have the River Rush entering into mid. On's getting engaged.
Display of talent used to push Hope back, but everyone just jumps to the left side. Shanks flashes away, but cannot get out. Here comes Bin with the counter-strike, looks for Tarzan next. Aegis Assault buys some time, but just look at the swoop of BLG, completely corralling, and Hope in the middle of 3 cannot pull out a miracle. BLG reigns supreme in the river, and they're gonna push for a Baron.
There we go. Let's Realm Warp out. 3 members take care of the big purple worm. An amazing fight from the carries. And I had a lot of reservations about Shun on this Kiana, but him and Viper, him and Knight, I should say, have been moving excellently in that fight. They immediately snap onto Shanks, force him out of this, make him flash, and still end up grabbing that kill.
And as you called out, Shanks completely irrelevant in that fight. Credit to Viper and Knight. And now Baron buff on their side. They pick up the 4th dragon, even up the dragons so that anyone's Legend is nowhere near soul point.
The Realm Warp is gone. Not a very long cooldown, but at least slowing it down. We have not seen this. We've seen some plays from Shanks and Tarzan, but just not in this game.
Display of talent on the 2 members. Tarzan and Kyle both caught, and Tarzan is the first one to drop. Flandre TP's in, forced to immediately run away. And BLG now have a 5-on-4 for another 40 seconds. How much damage can they do?
There's nothing for AL to do at this point. BLG get free time on these waves, go for another top tier 2. I just want to see Bin auto-attack this. Crystalline Overgrowth, boom, 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 turret is gone. A free one coming in for Bin Jax, an iconic champion pair for him, by the way, who we haven't even mentioned here in this game. It's starting to crumble around AL, Rafa. We thought game 1 was enough of a message sent. BLG returned to sender on this series. You know, Mark, you know what's scarier than a level 18 Jax?
What's that? Oh, a level 20 Jax?
Jax. A level 19 and a level 20 Jax.
Yep, that's right. Well, Flandre forced to run away from the Realm War. Bin winding up the helicopter, looking for the counter-strike.
Oh, Kyle!
Kyle in the Q stun, open to the back line. Finds Shoot first. Don't tell me he gets dropped, but he trades one for Viper next. But it's up to Bin to carry this one through with On. Shanks trying to keep him away. On forced the taunt back. The seismic shove. BLG! They just crumbled when it mattered most. Anyone's Legend bringing it back from the brink. How does this happen?
Holy crap, Kyle! That's a tier 1 support if I've ever seen one. They're gonna grab a tier 1 turret on the way out. That was an incredible magnet storm, completely acing BLG.
But if something else happens, that is going to be the first moment that everyone looks back on. But BLG still have time. They're still in the lead. They can just look back at that and say, okay, guys, you know what? We messed up. We can still close this game out. We're still favored.
For that play alone, bro. I'll give him player of the game for that one, even if
he's definitely getting ace. He's definitely getting ace, for sure.
All right, AL trying to start up the Baron. They're going to immediately turn on whoever is teleporting. Bin, flash, leap strike, he's out. No ult. Shun's coming in on a flank.
Shun looking for the Supreme Display Talent, hits all 5. Viper and Knight can now rip, and now it's BLG's time to shine. Anyone's Legend had a brief glimpse of hope, but it's immediately put to rest. Viper takes the triple kill, the pop off from On, and the player cam quadra kill for Viper,
Man, I love the fact that it even happens in the exact same spot. They may have gotten rid of Otacon, but it's still the same story. BLG make a comeback here at the end of that play and completely dominate AL 2 games back to back. God damn! That's a great way to start off the season, and that's a great way to start off a rivalry between the two top teams here in Group Ascend.